I wanted to talk about this story I saw on YouTube about this young man today, that he deleted himself, and they say it was because of his girlfriend or something like that. He went and I guess he got upset with his girlfriend over something she posted, and he went to her house. He shot her. I guess he believed that she was gone, and he ran out of her house, and he got into a chase with the police and got into all these accidents or whatever. And he wound up, I think they said he ran over a pedestrian with a dog, a man who was walking his dog, and somehow he wound up dying. I'm not sure if the police shot him but somehow he wound up dying. Before he did it, there were things that led up to him going about this destructive spree, right? I guess his girlfriend, she posted something, and I guess it got to him. I guess they were breaking up or whatever, and it got to him and it depressed him. And so, she posted something on the internet, and then he went and responded, and he posted something on the internet saying, how he tries to be very up on everything, and how he's struggling, but he's trying to survive and stuff like that. And as I listened to his story, it really got to me. You see, I am a Generation Xer, and I'm a lot older, and I remember, and this was a young man, maybe under 30, and when he was explaining himself and explaining the things that he went through, that he was going through, trying to cope with life, and doing all the things that were there, after he had the chase and then he died. I read the story. It bothered me, a lot. And then I read the comments of some of the people that were saying, things about him. They were judging him, and I don't know the person, so I'm not going to judge them. And I'm not even going to judge the people in the comments. I don't know those people, so I'm not judging them. But they felt that he was being, that he was in the wrong and all these other things. And he went and he shot his girlfriend, but she survived. I think he thought that he killed her, but she survived. But from what they're saying, he wound up, killing an innocent person, which is tragic. It's tragic for anyone to get into that level of life, just because, they're trying to figure out life, I guess, and figure out what they need to do in their life to succeed or be accepted, or whatever he was trying to do, right? The comments were saying that, because he was trying to be an aspiring rapper and all of this, and he was talented. He had some talent, to him. He had talent, it was sad that he had given up hope of it, because I guess from what was ever around him or what was ever affecting him, it wasn't helping him, and that hurts. That hurts to see younger people, people under 30 years old, losing hope and not understanding, why things are going the way they are. And it bothered me. It really bothered me. And the fact that people were like, oh, you know what, he's being evil and this, and because he couldn't be a rapper, he was jealous. So you don't know why that man did what he did. I don't think I don't know the man either, but we don't know why he did what he did. But it started to bother me, because a lot of times these younger people, these kids under 30 years old, are running around so stressed and depressed, and so trying to fit in and trying to survive, and not understanding what's the purpose of them surviving. What ultimate goal of them surviving? A lot of people think if you don't have a fancy car or anything like that, you're not surviving. There's more to life than that. When I was a little girl growing up in the 70s, and I'm not saying that we're perfect either. The 70s, 80s, 90s people, we're not all that better, but we grew up in a way to where we had more stabilization that were centered more around the values that our values were different, and it was centered around those values. Like now it's a lot different. It's almost like, and they were saying that the young man had mental illness and all that other anger and all of that other stuff. Okay, so but has anyone ever thought about the culture that's around these younger people now? The culture, the things that they have been taught. Have you ever felt that culture is somewhat of a mental illness? Because the culture that we have now, that's so dominant now, is a culture of, basically kill, steal, destroy. It's a manner of destruction. To get what you want, you have to destroy, kill, steal, and all of this other stuff. Hurt people to get what you want, or not what you need, but what you want. When I was younger, as a kid, we were always taught the difference between what's reality, and what we see on TV or read in books or see in actors and stuff. We were taught those things were fiction. And a lot of these kids are not taught these certain things. They're not taught that when they listen to a rap record that is a lot of fantasy. They're not taught when they look into a magazine and see all the glitz and glamour and stuff. That's not our reality if we grew up a certain way. And I'm talking to people who grew up middle class, poor, whatever. Those are not our realities. It seems now that, and I'm not saying that you can't never get that, but where you're at now, that's not reality. And with the fast track of computers and all this other stuff, it's really, really everywhere, this fantasy life. And people are taking that fantasy life as real life, and that they have to obtain it. You don't have to obtain that to survive, to live. You can go bit by bit and reach your goals. That's how it's supposed to be. You have to work to reach your goals. It's not always going to be easy, and you might not get as successful as you want to get. You have to know, first of all, we were always taught to get what we need first before we go after what we want. That way, if we don't get what we want, we always got what we need. You don't need a Lamborghini or whatever fancy car there's out there now, Teslas or whatever. You don't need that. You need something to get you from point A to point B. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of these younger people don't understand that. And it's going to take work. Even with my kids, they can't believe how hard it is to get certain things or to get certain goals. And I have to keep telling them, this is your reality. Excuse me. This is what you have to work for. This is what you have to do to get the certain things that you want. And so a lot of people don't understand that. And then it hurts to see these younger people trying to go and get these things, trying to reach their dreams, trying to do their music or whatever it is. My son does music. I told him he has to be careful and he has to try to work on it. And he understands that, because I tell him, this is your reality. You're not one of these superstars or whatever. Superstars that sit there and tell you, oh, all I did was walk into a studio and did this. And that's not true. Either they knew somebody or whatever. half the time they know people or they're connected before they can ever become big stars. And if you're not connected to those people, your reality might be you might have to work harder for it, or you might have to do it a whole different way. But don't lose hope, because you are always going to get the things that you need, which is the most important thing, is to get the things you need, so that when you don't get the things you want, you have what you need. And a lot of people don't believe in that. They think, oh, that's a poor man's excuse or whatever. And it's not. It's common sense. It's being stable. It's called being stable. Stable-minded and focused on things that will help you get to what you want. I mean, these are the things that we were taught, and these are the things I tell my children, because they, for some reason, as they were growing up, they thought that they were supposed to automatically have everything. As soon as you go, write something up, everything's supposed to come to you. And I tell them, no, you have to sit down, research, find out what you got to do before you put it in. And if it doesn't come to you, make sure you have whatever you need in case that doesn't come to you. So when whatever it is that you want doesn't come to you, you'll still have what you need. I.e., we were taught, look, if you had the basics, food, shelter, and clothing, you were good. Those 3 basic things, you were good. You go out there, you want to get a job, you look for a job. You look for a job. A job is something that you need. You might want a career, but you need a job. You get the job first, then you go for your career. It's simple things like that. My son wants to do music. I told him, I said, you have to learn a skill first. It's something that you can fall onto whenever your music thing is not going to work. You'll have some sort of skill that you can do to do what you got to go do, and you'll have stuff you need. People don't teach that anymore. They don't teach those type of basics anymore, and it really hurts. And but like I said, with this young man, it just hurt a lot, because he was trying. He was talented, but he was trying to get all the things that he wanted without realizing, he really did have what he needed. He had his, certain things, and he had to work from that angle. Once you get the stuff that you need, you work with whatever you got to get what you want, and that's just part of our life. That's our reality. That's what we would have to do, because we don't have the hookup to a record executive or the hookup to these multi-million-dollar billionaires that'll give us a cushy job. Our families don't have that. So we have to take what we got to get what we need, and take what we got to get what we want. And if we don't get what we want, we still won't be hurting. And I don't understand why that's not being taught to a lot of people and to a lot of children. I teach my kids that all the time. I do things that on that level too. I don't have a lot. So I take whatever little I have and try to work with to get things that we might want. And I'm telling you, I really don't have a lot. So it hurts to see these kids, I call them kids, these younger people in their under 30 years old doing these types of things. And when there's way more to life, you can get life. You can have a life. It might not be exactly how you want it, but you can still be happy. And it's just sad to see what is happening. And then the fact that in our culture, people are just judging each other. I'm not saying that I don't know the man, so I don't know what type of things going on with him, but they blame this man for being a demon, singer. He's following all this, but he's only following something that he sees, and everyone else sees, and that's the only thing that he's doing. I'm not saying that, he shouldn't have some blame to what he did, but it's just sad to see that he went through something like that he was in that much pain. And it shouldn't be like that. That's why I'm saying that these young people maybe maybe they should start realizing there's more to life than a Lamborghini. That's not your reality. That's some rich kid's reality. All that rap music and stuff, it's fake. You see Jay-Z talking about, oh, he's coming out of the house with a Lamborghini, and or whoever else. Not to say his name. I didn't mean to call his name, but all these rappers saying, because he's not the only one, but all these rappers saying, you know, we come out the house with the Lamborghini and stuff. That's not our reality. Those are for those kids who have parents that have that type of money. Your reality is you're going to walk out your door and get into a Honda or the bus. That's your reality. You know, you don't have to be settled for it, but it's part of your reality. So what? When I was a kid, I was taught, you know, not to really care what people thought about me, because I was too poor to go chasing other people's fantasies. Those are other people's fantasies. Why I gotta go through all of that? I was too poor to do that. So no, I'm not gonna go chasing someone just because they got nice clothes, and because people will get you to do anything if you are in that type of position where you're going around chasing someone because they got nice clothes or cars or whatever. And people will get you to do anything. That's why you got so many people out here on drugs. That's why you got so many people out here prostituting. That's why you have so many people out here stealing and hurting each other over nothing. Just trying to fit in. And because when somebody could tell you, okay, I did this to get a car, or I you know, sold my body, or I sold drugs or whatever to get this car, you do it, and you do it, you wound up getting hurt. Something happens to you bad, or to your family bad. You don't need that. That's why when I was little, I grew up with, I really don't care what you think about me. It doesn't bother me. I have secondhand clothes on, or if I have clothes that are not in style, you know, it doesn't bother me. Whatever you think doesn't bother me at all. Because I don't need to go out and do whatever you're doing. That's just my prerogative. That's what I think is my prerogative. That's how we grew up. It's our prerogative. Look, I do what I want to do. I don't gotta do what you do. Just like, you know, if other people live their life a certain way, you know, it was once taboo to actually act the way we see a lot of these people are acting. You know, it became like, you know, secretive. You know, nobody ever really acted the way you see people are acting now. Then it became okay, and then it became some sort of a subculture. And people in this subculture became a regular culture, to where it's okay to act like this and do all of these things, which is to kill, steal, and destroy to get whatever you want. It's crazy. We don't have to hurt each other to get anything. Be an adult. Get up and go work for it. If you can't work it, then oh well, go get something else. That's how I feel. That's just how I feel. And I don't understand why it's like that now. You know, like I said, that subculture has come out of the woodworks, and it's okay to act that type of way. Those type of values are okay to have, you know, and now this is an okay thing to do, you know. And even though they were angry at the man for what he did, they were also putting all the blame on him. They never put the blame on these rich actors and movie stars and singers and all that. Never put no blame on them. Just put blame on a Joe Schmo, in my opinion. But never blamed these other people. And they are actually encouraging it. They get paid to encourage all of us to do things, to do things, or to try to, you know, do things to get what they have, and they know that they didn't do any of those things to get what they have. Or if they did do those things, that's their reality. That's not ours. I always tell my kids there's a difference between people's realities. You don't have the same reality as maybe your neighbor does, because she might have different opportunities you don't have. And you might have different opportunities she don't have. And I don't understand why people can't understand that. But I was just saying about this because it bothered me so much to hear whatever he was going through. It was a lot of hurt in that man. And it's a lot of hurt in our young people. A lot of hurt. And I think that hurt and pain is because we've allowed a subculture to become the culture, that the dominant culture. And it's hurting our kids because no one is saying, stop, wait a minute, guys. Y'all have to think with reality versus fantasy and get some stabilization in your thoughts and in your mind. And the stabilization is, you can't care about what other people have. You have to care about what you have. And then I just felt, as me being Generation X, I should say something, because our younger people, the things that are happening are just too much. And I'm hoping that that somehow we all start realizing how much more important life is, and that it's more important than allowing certain other people's thoughts and ideas to come into our life versus what is reality. You can be a happy person if you have love and support around you, which seemed that the young man did, and I'm not faulting, him or anything like that, because he was in pain. So he quite obviously, this was the worst type of thought that can come to his mind. But it's tragic. It's tragic. And we have to come against all those type of things. Like, we got to stop encouraging these people with their grand fantasies and stuff, and helping them and giving them our energy, because we're giving them energy by applauding them at their shows and stuff like that, and they're putting this type of ideas in our culture. And I just hope we could realize those types of things. We realize who we are and what we have, and that we try to just remember that there are way more important things to our lives, to life, and in order to protect it and keep our energy and keep our what was given to us, life, be happy, with what we have, so that we don't have to go into this stress, especially with our young people. We have the 70, the years that had accumulated, like the 70s. You have the drugs in the 80s and 90s. And then also remember, a lot of these people under 30, they went through the COVID years. A lot of them were in school. So they've had a lot of stress put on them. And that which would cause the culture to be even more, I say deviant, because it's trying to become a dominant culture of deviancy. And it's not good. And it's not good because these are our younger people that are being influenced by it. These are basically, to me they're kids. They've grown up, they're in their 20s and stuff like that, but they're not having the same chance, and we have to do something. We have to create a culture of mental wellness, and which means is you can be happy without a Tesla in your driveway. You can be happy with just having love and support from the people around you. Even if you don't have love and support from the people around you, you can have love and support from within inside of you. A lot of people don't believe in that. Wanting to have love and all this other stuff, sometimes you have to reach inside of yourself and love yourself first. You have to like yourself and love yourself. Be satisfied with who you are inside and love yourself. And then maybe you will attract the things that you want. And if you don't, so what? It's the same thing. You have what you need. You have love. You have support. You'll have what you need just in case you don't get what you want. And I think that's a big thing for people. They should strive for that. Have what you need. The things that'll make you okay if you don't get what you want. And I think that will help a lot of kids. I think that will help a lot of these younger people. Like I said, I grew up that way. You got to have what you need. Try your best to have what you need. And also try to be grateful whenever you have love and support. It might not be what you want or the way that you want it, but you might have love and support in a way that in a way that you would need it. Maybe someone can't give you a Lamborghini or whatever, but they can give you a Honda, like I said, or they can help you with a Honda, or they can help you with something. Be grateful. They're supporting you, because just in case you don't get the Honda, you still have someone that's standing in your corner encouraging you, and that means more than anything. Because if you can't get the Honda, maybe you can get a bike. I don't know. I'm just giving examples, but I'm saying that it's better to get the things that you need, and what you need is love, support, a mind to love and support yourself, because a lot of these people don't love and support their own self. You have to like yourself and love yourself enough to say, hey, I have a boundary of doing this or doing that. A lot of these young kids, they don't have they might have boundaries, but feel that they have to do it to get the things that they want, deeming that the things that they want, they think that those are things that they need. And I do that too. I do that when I go shopping. I'm very bad with shopping. I will buy everything, just as long as it's shopping. I have so many knickknacks and stuff in my house that don't make no sense. I have more knickknacks and stuff in my house than I got furniture. But I like to shop. But I have to figure out, hey, some of this stuff is just stuff I want. It's not stuff I need. Same thing, You have to figure out what it is that you need and set that boundary. So that's all I'm trying to say, is that we need to take time and encourage these young people to say, hey, look, you're doing a good job in your life. Young person, anyone. Maybe we do need to encourage each other. We see each other out on the street or whatever, and the person is doing something positive and they're not negative. You never know. Just you saying something nice will be an encouragement to them, because they might need that encouraging support. And that's just how I feel about it. It just bothered me to see that alien go through that. And I know that I'm a Generation Xer, and I know I might seem boring, whatever. I just felt that I needed to say something. I don't know if it would help anyone, but I know enough. I felt enough to where I thought to say something, because it's really crazy out here. I know I'm not a superstar or whatever, or rapper or whatever, and you might not listen to me or whatever, which is fine. But I just felt I needed to say something. I just felt very bad, and I felt very bad for our younger people, because this shouldn't be happening. These kids shouldn't be this confused or hurt. They're way too young to be this hurt. They're way too young to hold all this pain in. And I don't know what we're gonna do. We have to figure out something. We have to start telling these kids, the difference between reality and fantasy. And we have to stop putting a lot of these superstars on pedestals, because they're not helping our kids. They're not helping us. They're not helping society, because they're trying to cater to the dominant subculture society of what I said. Deviant society. It's not cute. It's not cute anymore. It's just not cute. They're not cute. And we really need to turn them off and help each other as much as we can. Just encourage each other as much as we can. I think that, I guess there's a new administration coming in. A lot of people can take advantage of it. Change the times. They have that the deviant subculture can go out with the new year, and the regular subculture, people having values and understanding, people that understand that in reality you have to work for things, or in reality it's not always going to be the way that you might want it to be, but you have it to where you will always have whatever you need. Something has to be done. I mean, it's the end of the year. Today is the 29th. So, I mean, it's the end of the year. So, I mean, I think that's what we should be doing in the new year. Also, this year I've been doing a lot of praying and asking for help and focus on my life, and it's been helping. And I think that a lot of people need to start praying, because we don't know what's going to happen next year, and we need to start asking God to help bind up all these evil presences that are around and casting them out of our lives. We need to ask God. We need to ask God in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ to start binding up these things and casting them away from us, casting them back to the hell that they belong in Jesus' name. I don't say the word amen, but I do say in Jesus' name, and by the blood of Jesus, or by the power of Jesus Christ, because I believe that by saying that and praying that to myself, I don't need to say it out loud. I don't need to say it out loud. You don't need to say it out loud. Say it to yourself. You don't have to tell anyone anything. We need to do something. We need to constantly be praying and asking God every time we walk out of our door to help us, help protect us, and help bind up all these evil things, these presence that are around, because there are a lot of evil things out there that no one can see and no one else believes. That's just my talk of my faith. That's all that is. But, and if you don't believe in faith, that's fine. That's you. That's whatever you believe in. But what I'm saying is that we need to keep doing these type of things, and trying to bring about a different type of culture, because we can't allow this to keep being a dominant culture, because it's a destructive culture, and it's coming around our younger people, and we really do need to find a way to stand up and say, no, we can't keep letting this happen. We have to start encouraging our kids on something better, encouraging not just our kids, our young adults, and even adults, because everyone is so down and depressed, with the new year, we really do need to do something. We need to change something. We need to do something, or be open up to be vocal, because this was something that was hard on me. So I finally decided to come out and say something, about it. But that's my thought and my opinion on it. I think that we need to do something in our culture. We need to change our culture. The culture is not, this dominant culture is no good. It's not cute to hurt anyone. It's not cute to steal to get what you want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not everybody's going to be all honest and or Christian or whatever, but some of this got to stop. It's not cute anymore. It was cute a little bit, I guess, for some people, but to me, this stuff is not cute. It's stupid. It's sickening. It's sad. It's not good. So, yeah, I think we need to change the culture to help us to survive. If we want to survive, we need to get rid of what they call the demon time and all of this other stuff, this deviant culture. We need to get rid of it. We need to let it go, because it ain't helping us. It might be helping other people, but it's not helping us poor people or middle class, or not even the rich people. It's not even helping, because half of them are doing crazy stuff, trying to fit in with the deviant culture. This culture needs to be thrown away. Whatever it is, it needs to get out of here. We need to bind it up in Jesus' mighty name, by the blood of Jesus. Ask the Lord Jesus to bind it up and cast it out in Jesus' name. Especially for the year 2025. And we need to keep that prayer going. Just bind these things up and cast them out. Cast it back to the hell that it came from. In Jesus' name. So that was my thoughts on that. I just hope and pray for the people that were involved in that incident. And I pray for his loved ones and for her loved ones and for everyone's loved ones. We need to really, really change our culture.